Hi there, I'm Sean, the founder of Spacejot. Spacejot is an AI visualization platform that helps interior design companies and material suppliers to create realistic design visualizations within minutes, using actual materials, finishes, and brands that are available locally. My background was in architecture and subsequently worked as an interior designer, and that's where I experienced firsthand the pain, the time, and the cost that went into creating visualizations for client projects. Designers would spend at least 1 to 2 weeks just to produce a single set of visualizations, and even minor revisions meant additional time and cost. And that's where the idea of Spacejot came from, to make visualizations instant, accessible, and most importantly, locally relevant to the user. We're now a team of 4, bringing together expertise across software and business. And today, more than 100 interior design companies in Singapore already use Spacejot as part of their daily workflow. The problem that we're solving is clear. Traditional rendering software requires a lot of time and skill. Designers have to start from CAD drawings, move into 3D modeling, then finally into rendering software, a process that can take usually about 1 to 2 weeks. And so we've built a set of tools that allow designers to visualize their ideas much faster on any device. Let's dive right in. And so here's Spacejot. This is our web application. As you can see, at its core, what Spacejot does is that it can understand instructions from the user, as well as their sketches or their 3D model exports. And so in this case, we have a 3D model screenshot of a dry kitchen area. And what Spacejot does is it will actually convert it into a visualization like this one here. It will automatically add in realistic lighting, realistic materials, so that it's a lot more understandable for their clients. And so these are where all our tools are. And so let's start with the mood board feature, which is our simplest feature. Just by typing in words and keywords, it will come up with images for their mood boards. And if you see, the results are actually quite good and realistic and aesthetically pleasing, because we've actually fine-tuned our own AI model on our past users' data so that we could actually massively improve the performance compared to the base image generating model. And then we also have this rendering tool as well, where essentially the designer is able to upload their own image of the space, and it will actually convert it into the realistic visualizations in different styles. And so they can actually just create their own style, or to just use our list of styles that we have as presets. And if they have already input any kind of materials like this here, it will retain the materials and the colors that are used in the original model. And so if you see here, this is also a sketch from a designer. And after selecting another style, let's say like a wabi-sabi style, this is kind of what they can get. It will try to follow the lines and to create a visualization that is a lot more realistic and appealing to the customer. Likewise, they can also, if you see here, sketch on top of a site photo, and then from there, it will convert it into a much more beautiful, realistic visualization. And next up is our most powerful feature to date, which is the instructions feature. And so designers are able to upload their own SketchUp model as before, and it will actually be able to follow the original composition a lot more closely. And then from there, they can even use descriptions to verbally add and remove things or change the materials of items in the scene. For example, in this case, it has actually added curtains in based on the description and the instructions of the user. And then if you see from here, you can give the instructions to actually even zoom out the camera to see the entire empty space. And this is what you get from there. And then designers have a lot of control where they can actually upload their own reference furniture to visualize what their client has actually selected for the room. And then at the same time, we have integrated the laminates from the local suppliers, as well as the paints and tabletop materials. And so, for example, by selecting the Alicante laminate, they're able to specify that they want to place it onto any surface within the scene. And so that's Spacejot. Compared to traditional rendering software or outsourcing to freelancers, Spacejot is dramatically faster and easier to use. What used to take 1 to 2 weeks can now be done in minutes, allowing designers to focus on their design direction within a much shorter amount of time. And so our ultimate goal is simple: to make high quality, locally accurate visualizations effortless. I'm Sean, this is Spacejot, AI visualizations for interior designers.